Joining us now for more insight on this situation with the Chinese balloon incident is retired General Michael McDaniel, Director of Homeland Law at WMU Cooley Law School.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for being here, General. I guess let's just start with the basics. There's been a lot of chatter. This kind of captivated people around the world over the weekend. Do you believe the U.S. made the right decision in shooting it down?
Oh, absolutely. And I think they made the right decision also, Shana, in waiting until it was over water to shoot it down. When you look at the timeline on this, it hits our interdiction zone somewhere around last Saturday. And it comes into the continental United States, which had to be unexpected, somewhere around Monday. And so the president is then briefed on Tuesday. He gives the options. He makes the decision to shoot it down on Wednesday. At this point, I have to believe that the reason that they're using a balloon, that they're using something that can be more stationary than a satellite, is because it has hover potential. It can dwell over an area. And to do that, you're going to get two things. You're going to get satellite photos with more granularity, but more importantly, you're going to be able to intercept radio signals. And I think that's what they were looking to do, is to intercept cell phone or other signals that you couldn't get from a satellite. So at that point, we're going to jam that, and we're going to be safe until it goes over, drifts over water. And at that point, they had enough time to plan to create an operational box and to take it down within that operational box, still within our territorial waters, but in shallow enough water that we can recover all the debris for forensic purposes rather easily.
China says they were not spying. That's what they claim. The U.S., of course, says otherwise. Do you believe they were spying? And what exactly would they be looking for?
Yes, Jeff, I definitely think that they were spying, because the difference here is not just the size of the platform itself. You know, this is 3 or 4 times greater than a usual weather balloon would be, but it's also the fact, as I said, that it can dwell over an area, that it's got some maneuverability, so you can sort of turn it against the prevailing winds and hold it in spot so that you can intercept signals. And I think, to answer your other question, Jeff, I think they're looking for signals intelligence. They're looking for radio and radar more than they're looking for surveillance photos.
Now, shouldn't Chinese officials have expected this to happen? Shouldn't they have expected it to be both aware, the United States government to be aware of it and to respond exactly as it did?
I would think so. I would think so. You wonder whether or not President Xi knows everything that the People's Liberation Army is doing, especially given the timing of this with the expected visit from Secretary of State Blinken. So they had to expect it. I think that either one hand didn't know what the other was doing, or it was an intentional provocation for some unknown purpose. And hopefully that's something we'll find out over time. We won't learn that right away as we sort of have to repair this relationship. A relationship, I would say, that President Xi needs more than we do. They are much more buffeted by the coronavirus than we are right now. They've had a lot of problems with that, and their domestic economy is suffering as a result of that and as a result of sanctions. So he wants to normalize relations with the United States more than we need to.
What kind of tension is this going to create now, potentially on the other side, because, hey, they could retaliate here, and then you have a worse situation?
Well, I think one of the reasons that we shot it down wasn't just so we could gather whatever intel we can from the technology that we're going to find, but I think the other reason is to send a message that this won't be tolerated. And I think that's why we see this immediate reaction from the PRC government, is because they know that they got caught, and they know that we're sort of saying, you know, we're slapping them a little bit. So diplomatically, there's going to have to be a rebuild here, but they're going to want that, as I said, for their own economy's sake, much more than we need it.
You know, there was a lot of speculation over the past few days when it was over certain areas like Montana, people speculating as to what do they want to see in this particular part of the country. Did anything come to mind for you? Why would they want to spy on that particular path?
So we are in the, that's a great question, Shana. We are in the process right now of rebuilding all of our ICBM missile silos across North Dakota, Wyoming, and Montana. And that process is ongoing right now. So I have to believe that the reason that you would use this type of platform where you can loiter over time, as I said, is to intercept signals intelligence, to intercept conversations and see what they might possibly learn. But that's something that I'm sure we shut down construction, we shut down the work itself, as well as we're jamming it the whole time so that they weren't able to intercept anything. And given the track of the surveillance balloon, I think that's probably what they were shooting for. It was well outside of the prevailing winds, so it had to have altered another reason why we had to have been manually altered. Another reason why I think that it was not obviously a weather balloon.
All right, well, thank you for your time. Great insight, as
Thank you.
always. We appreciate it. Former Homeland Security Advisor and current Director of Homeland Law at WMU Cooley Law School. Thank you again, Michael McDaniel, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.